Listen to this episode if you have ever been interested in my coaching and ever wondered what made my programs different than others. Hello, welcome to a Friday Coaching Sessions episode. This question was actually submitted by Claire. To give some context, she said, I've listened to your podcast for years. I'm always intrigued by your programs, but I am yet to buy them. What's different about your programs than others? I've done some courses and never really loved them, and I have listened to every episode. Would I still benefit from a program like PTP? I would really love to dive into this and kind of talk about what is different, especially because PTP is open for enrollment right now. We start on September 23rd. So if you're listening to this before then and this resonates with you, we absolutely can chat from there. You can click the link in the show notes. There's an application there. But this was a great time to kind of discuss this. I do have 3 different major styles of programs. I have master classes, which is like a one-time training, workshop type of thing where it's like, this is a major problem that you have, and this is a one-time training. Usually they're like under $99. I have courses, which are comprehensive, multi kind of chapter module passive courses. So they're self-led, where I am giving you kind of this whole breakdown of resources, of videos, of trainings, of walkthroughs. You get to watch it at your own pace, and then you can kind of go from there. These are great if you are really wanting strategy, if you want the next step from my podcast, really getting like a full arc of a course. I have the Breakthrough Content Lab, which is all about my social media content, as well as the Product Launch Academy, which is all about having sold out product launches. And then I have live programs. And it seems like Claire asked her question about live programs. Live programs are times where you actually get to work with me for an extended period of time. They have one-on-one support, most of them, and they really do allow for it to be more of a workshop than anything. Live programs, you have one-on-one support, you have private messaging with me throughout the week. That's really having me inside of your business. Now, no matter which one, that's like PTP. PTP is a live program, and the other live program that I do consistently as kind of my signature is the Product Sales Expansion, which is for scaling business owners. PTP is to help you get to that consistent sales mark in your business. Really the biggest difference, and if any coach tells you anything different than this, most of the time it's going to be a red flag. The biggest difference in my programs is me. Like, it really is. If you are here and you've binged all of my podcasts, like Claire has said, you listen to my podcast religiously, you love how I teach, through my experience as well as through my style, you just clearly have some sort of natural connection to how I teach. If you really, really love that, I also teach different ways than other people. So if you resonate with what I'm saying, if you like the way that I create content, you like what I'm talking about when I talk about community building and having passion and building freedom over just like these quick sales, really when it comes to working with somebody like me, what is different is you have to align with the type of marketing that they are teaching. So for me, if you really love my podcast and you're sitting there and you're shaking your head, you're like, yes, this is the marketing that I wish I could have when I'm talking about things, you probably like the style of marketing that I teach. So I teach very passion-driven marketing. I teach very heart-led marketing. Community is at the center of everything that I'm doing. Everything that I am teaching you is going to be a focus on freedom. Now, I'm going to be tough love, and I'm going to tell you, if you show up one day a week, you're probably not going to grow too quickly. But I'm also going to be the first person that says, hey, if you have a tragedy happen, if you are not feeling well, it's okay to take a step back for a couple of days. Because that is why you started a business, is for freedom, is so the days that you are not able to work as hard as some of the other days, you don't have to because you've been committed in these other days. So when we talk about what is really different about my programs than others, if you've been in other courses, it really comes down to really liking the person that you are working with. And I feel so grateful and so humbled every day that people say, Maddie, I'm so obsessed with your podcast. How can I work with you? Like, I just love the energy that you have. And it's just It comes down to psychology. Like, you are going to feel more drawn to people that you feel similar to, that you connect with better. And at the end of the day, what is different inherently about everything that I do is that I'm in it. You get my brain, you get my heart, you get my eyes, and you get my strategies of what I'm teaching here. Now, to answer some of these other questions of kind of like, I've listened to every podcast episode. Would a program still be consistent or still be helpful for you? 100%, especially PTP is like 1,000 times deeper than my podcast. I get this a lot in my feedback is people join any of my courses and they're like, Maddie, I listened to your podcast so religiously. I feel like I just knew everything you said, but I joined your program and I had no idea that some of these things existed. I give you a lot of really awesome strategies here. I give you tactics. I give you kind of I give you worksheets or like work through questions and things like that. We do kind of like guided work in the podcast. You absolutely get pieces of my strategy, but the pieces that the programs has is these pieces are A to Z, and you actually get the ins and outs of the framework, especially my live programs like PTP. You and I are really working together to make sure you fully understand what it is that we're doing. And that is a major piece that what makes my coaching different than others in the industry is that I am somebody that really prioritizes that one-on-one support in my live programs. Now, I realize not everybody can be in a live program, so I have masterclasses, I have courses, but if you are really desiring, Maddie, I just want a support system, Maddie, I just want somebody that understands business strategy to bounce ideas off of, Maddie, like my husband is wonderful, but like he just doesn't really understand what I'm talking about here sometimes, and I want somebody that gets it to walk me through this. Maddie, I just wish you could audit my Instagram. Maddie, I just wish you could come in and tell me what content to create. That is what these live programs are, is teaching you, not just having me tell you what to do, it's teaching you what I would do and working with you to make sure you fully understand how to go from there and how to create it in a way that I recommend through strategy and science in that sense. So the biggest difference in everything that I do really is me, and I say that so incredibly humbly. I don't say that to brag. I just say that because there are people out there that are doing things similar to me, and I don't really watch them. I don't follow them because I don't want to know what they're doing, because I want to provide for you what I think is most important through my 8 years of experience, my 2 business degrees that I have, and from working with 400 or 500 businesses at this point intimately. And so there are other people out there. And if you listen to my podcast and you're like, Maddie, that's not the way that I want to market, that's okay. Somebody else would be a better fit for you than I would. So if you listen to my podcast religiously, which if you're listening to this, you probably do. If you listen to my podcast religiously, you love what I talk about. You love how I talk about it. You love the community building there. You have a very passion-filled business. You have a business that you want to make a difference. You have this legacy that you want to build. But at the end of the day, you really just want freedom and balance and a business that's not going to overtake you. There's going to be people out there that are going to tell you, it's hustle and it's grit and it's hard work and you got to work 24/7 and you got to show up and you got to have this briefcase and you got to be luxury and you have to do all these things. That is not who I'm going to be. I'm going to be all about the community. I'm going to be all about your heart. I'm going to be all about connection. And so if you're really looking at it, you have to agree or at least be open to what I'm teaching, as well as my high touch one-on-one support is such a priority for me. That is a major difference inside of Product to Profit, which is my signature program to help you get to consistent sales. I really believe in having somebody that understands what you're doing, has already accomplished something that you were trying to do, has already understood and learned the strategies to come into a business and be able to say, these are the things you need to do. This is your gaps. Let's work through this together. Is so incredibly important. I've invested so much money into my own business to get people to come in to do that to me. No matter what stage of business you're at, I think it's important to have fresh eyes come in, to have people that you can trust, to have mentors that they can kind of help you through that process. I see the value in it. And despite so many people in the industry telling me to take away my one-on-one support in my group programs because it's not scalable and I can't, have infinite amount of people in my programs, I would rather give that opportunity than be able to scale my business more at this point. I would rather do other things to scale my business than get rid of the opportunity to work with me one-on-one because A, that's what I love to do, and B, It's where we can really excel your growth, fast track where you're at, and I love getting my hands in to like the weeds with you. Yeah. At the end of the day, when it comes to what's different about my programs than others, Claire, your question is kind of multifaceted here. If you have done courses before and you never really loved them, there's a lot of people out there that are a little scary in this world that might not be teaching you the depth of strategy that you really wanted, or the like, this is exactly what you need to do, or somebody there to actually work with you through it. There's different reasons why people don't really like courses sometimes, and that can either be that you didn't feel like you got the support because it was a completely passive course, you ended up with so many questions, or it was like so incredibly basic. Absolutely, if you listen to my podcast, what my podcast is, you would be able to get in a lot of normal people's courses because my podcast is very robust. There's a lot of strategies that I talk about here. I'm not somebody that gatekeeps what I'm talking about. I really am talking about these things. I just don't give it to you in an A to Z fashion here because on Tuesday, I'm putting this episode out. Friday, I'm putting this episode out. You don't have me and my brain in your business looking at what you're doing and really explaining, okay, this is what you need to do. This is exactly how you do it. If you love my podcast, you love the style in which I teach, you find it enjoyable somehow to sit there and listen to me talk for hours, then you probably would really, really benefit from my programs. PTP will be mind-blowing for you. We get about 1,000 times deeper in exactly what to do. You can ask me exact questions Monday through Friday, and we'll have real conversations through it. If that is something you're interested in, the new program starts on September 25th or 23rd. The enrollment closes the Friday before then, so the 20th. So whenever you're listening to this, if you are like Maddie, that does sound like something I really want. It's an experience. It's a workshop. It's you and I really co-creating together. Click the link in the show notes and you can click apply there, or you can go over to my Instagram and DM me PTP and we can have a conversation there as well. Either one of those works great. But if you've listened to my podcast, there is absolutely more for you to learn out there. Yes, I give you a lot of info. Yes, I'm talking about, my strategies and what they all are, but we can get so much deeper inside of a program, inside of an A to Z. This is exactly what to do there. So Claire, thank you for asking this question and giving me a perfect excuse to talk about my programs when they are open for enrollment. But it's also just good to really understand this huge world of the coaching industry now and understand that I've listened to podcasts before and been like, ooh, this person is not for me. I've followed people on Instagram and been like, this is just not the marketing style that I want to have. This is not the business style that I want to have. I don't want to be somebody that has to post 3 times a week, 3 times a day on my Instagram. I don't want somebody to tell me, Maddie, you just got to keep showing up. I don't really want somebody to push me through things like that. I want somebody to sit down and work with me through it, and I like to deliver what I would want. I want somebody to co-create with me. I want somebody to push freedom and balance and sustainability in your life, but I also want them to be tough love. Tell me, Maddie, this is what you're doing wrong. This is what we need to fix. These are the things that you need to commit to in order to get there. And that is really what I like to deliver. And that's also why I do mentorship and coaching in my own business for my own business all the time, because I like to see what other people are doing, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, what I want to build on mine. I always ask for feedback because I'm constantly developing my style of coaching as well. So with all of that to say, if you're interested in a masterclass or a course, which is you can learn from me, you can still learn my strategy, still learn my style of coaching from me with myself in all of the videos and my workbooks. And there's still a lot deeper than the podcast. You can go onto my website. The link is in the show notes. It's either masterclasses or courses. And then a live program is when you actually get to work with me. They're a little bit more of a workshop style. And the info for that is in the show notes as well, or the description of the podcast. I hope this was helpful for you. I know that it's not an actual strategy piece there, but I know this is a question that a lot of people have. Is how do I know when I'm ready for coaching? How do I know who to go into? And coming from somebody who obviously is a coach, as well as invests in coaches really often and specialists and things like that, this is what I have found. To find the people that really work for you, you have to like the way that they create content. You have to be kind of infatuated by what they're doing. They have to be somebody that you feel like has proven to you that they have the knowledge and that they have helped other people do it, or they have done it themselves, as well as you really need to just feel a connection to the way that of what they have grown. If you feel yourself constantly going back to a singular person, it's probably a good sign. Just make sure that that person is reputable, has some sort of experience behind them, whether it's a college degree or real experience in life of other things as well. All of that is going to be really, really helpful. I hope this was helpful for you. I love you. I'm rooting for you, and I'm in your corner always. If you want to join PTP for the last round of 2024 and get holiday support included along with it, you can click the link in the show notes. It's my program to help you get to natural, consistent sales, building a seamless sales system where we can get you to those consistent online sales so you can stop going to all the dang markets and actually start getting the traction on social media that you've been looking for.